Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. Living in a foreign country can be difficult. Living in China can be difficult. It takes a while to sort of get into the groove of things here. The language is, well, very difficult. The customs, the food, just basically everything, because you're not Chinese, you never grew up here. Any foreigner, or any person that travels, any expat around the world that tells you that they don't get homesick every once in a while isn't just not telling you the truth, eh? I get homesick all the time. I miss my family, like my daughter, my granddaughter, my grandson, my daughters. I miss my brother and my dad and stuff like that, and you just can't get that family feel here in China. Sure, I've got family here, but it's my wife's side of the family, and it's just not the same. Also, I miss rib steaks barbecued on my balcony. I miss Canadian beer. Yes, I miss Canadian beer immensely. I miss jumping in my vehicle, driving 100 kilometers in under an hour and getting to where, you know what I mean? Like here, 100 kilometers is not an hour-long drive. You have to be here to understand that. It's all of these things combined just make it more difficult to live in China. You can look at all of the good things, the weather, and some of the bad things are the good things, the food. If you get used to the food here is frickin' amazing, guys. It's like, it really is. Any foreigner will tell you, after they've lived in China for 2 or 3 years, there's certain foods that you can't get anywhere else in the world except for mainland China. So all of those things, did I say the weather? But the thing is that when you're a foreigner in a different country, when you're an expat, when you live for extended time periods in any country around the world, sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you think, well, am I doing the right thing by living in this country for so long? What's going on at home? If I was in Canada, I could be doing this. Well, maybe not in the wintertime. Oh, she's cold in Canada in the wintertime, guys. We live on Vancouver Island, the warmest place, actually Nanaimo, probably one of the warmest places in all of Canada, but still, she gets frosty cold there, and sometimes you get a foot of snow and you're shoveling and it's heavy and all of these things. But in China, you don't have that, but you miss it. I miss fishing in the spring, pickerel, walleye fishing in the spring immensely. Wei Feng and I used to do that all the time, and I miss the eating the pickerel too. My God, Martha, that stuff is amazing. But you can't do that here. Sure, you can go fishing, it's just not the same. One thing about China though is there's always something going on, there's always something to do. This place runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Where in Canada, about 6 o'clock at night, she shuts down, and the lights go out and everybody goes home, and that's about it. There are some nightclubs there that stay open, but not normally, you know what I mean? So Canada's boring, Canada's clean, Canada has a low population. There's more people, I think, in the Shanghai area than there is in all of Canada. And the kicker of that is Canada is larger than China in landmass. So if you think about that, it's like I come from a country, well, I come from a town that's 250 people. The province had less than 1 million people when I was growing up. So there wasn't a lot of people. When you get used to being around so few people, then coming to a place like this where there's people everywhere, it's difficult to sort of grasp it in your mind, just for the fact that there's no privacy. There's people literally everywhere. You can't go out and do anything without being around people, being videotaped, being whatever. It's just one of those things. So when you think, oh, how quiet it was in Canada, sometimes you miss that. Sometimes maybe it's because I'm getting older. The older I get, the less I like the limelight, the less I like the so many people, and I don't know, the frustration of standing in line in Walmart, and all of these different things, the traffic, just the hustle and bustle. One of the other things, being a YouTuber in China, you get known by just about everybody, especially in your community. But I learned that, jumping around Southeast Asia, Thailand, I was in Chinatown in Bangkok, got noticed. I was in Malaysia for, the first day and a half I was in Kuala Lumpur. I was recognized 4 times type thing. Down in Pattaya, I was recognized. So just being that anonymous person that you are in Canada, you don't have that as a YouTuber here in China either. So it's one of those things, because in Nanning, I get recognized 2 or 3 times a day minimum, and and that's just the people that say, "Hey, Gweilo, how are you doing?" You know what I mean? But so that's another thing that I sort of miss, is being anonymous in Canada, where people really don't know who you are. So you can basically go out and do whatever you want. You can go to the bar and just get pinned, and you're just another drunken bum on the street. You know what I mean? But here, sort of got to watch yourself. And another thing that people that don't like your political views, don't like your views on, say, the province of Taiwan or whatever, they will attack you in these forums. Not physically yet, but verbally for sure. And it's one of those things that it sort of drives me a little bit. I'm 25 years as a collection agent. I've got very thick skin, so it really doesn't bother me that much. But it pisses me off. How dare these people? Anyway, that's another thing about being in China, that you're so recognizable, not only as a white face, but a YouTuber that has, I don't know, about 450 videos out about mainland China, and people do recognize me on the street. I don't have that anonymous feeling that I have when I'm in Canada. So Wei Fang and I have been thinking about going back to Canada in the spring, family, friends, visiting and whatever. And we're not quite sure whether that's going to happen because of the COVID-19 thing. But, being a Canadian, down deep, I do love China, but I also love Canada. And Canada's my home. It's always been my home, and probably always will be my home. Things like that, where you got your family, you got your friends, you got we've got a home there, we've got a car there that's been sitting on in a parking spot for, I don't know, about a year and a half, 2 years now. Oh man, I feel sorry for that vehicle. The gas will be turpentine. Going back to Canada and getting everything back in order, so that we know that everything's taken care of there, and then we can get up and we can travel around the world again if the COVID-19 is gone. If not, then you can't. Because Wei Fang and I have been lucky enough to get the type of resident permit that we can travel back to China whenever we want. Sure, we have to do the 14-day quarantine, but and a COVID-19 test before we jump on the airplane to come back to China. But at least we have that option. We can go to Canada, COVID-19 test, plus 14 days quarantine or isolation when you get to Canada, and then coming back. So there, you just blew a month out of your life, traveling from China to Canada and Canada back to China again, just in quarantine time. So I ain't getting no younger there, guys. Getting to know a country takes years and years and years. Like literally, it takes a long, long time to sort of feel okay in that country, but you're never going to feel like you're actually a citizen or a member of that country. It's just not the way it works. First generation immigrants always, if you're Chinese Canadian and you're a first generation immigrant, you're always basically Chinese down deep in your heart. Same with, I would imagine, a Canadian moving anywhere around the world. They're always going to be a Canadian. Their children might, turn into American or British or whatever they are, or wherever they moved. But that first generation. So it's the same thing with expats. It's the same thing with people like myself. When you come to a place like China, you're basically always Canadian, and you always will be Canadian, and that's sort of bestowed into you as a child. So just coming to a place like this doesn't mean you're going to be a member of this community. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, you know the score. Like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account, and see you later.